You remove this plastic panel, it's flexible. You can get underneath the edge here and you can pull it out. Phillips head screw that's through here with a nut on the back side. The nut has Loctite on it. So be careful not to strip out your screw head, all right? What we had to do was use a ratchet on this side and a pair of needle nose vice grips on the screw side to hold it, all right? So we're gonna take we took that out. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do, the kit that you get comes with 3 new rivets. We're gonna drill this rivet out, and this one. I'm gonna use an 1/8 inch drill bit, and the goal is to drill straight down, and then you can clear it out. All right, so I'm drilling straight down, and I'm only drilling probably a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch in, and then once this comes off, the head comes off, and you can pull this down and out. There's still some of the old rivet in there, so we're gonna take the 1/8 inch drill bit and we're just gonna drill maybe an 1/8 of an inch in to clear the rest of that material out there so we can put a new bit in. And there it is. Cool. So it cleared out. Now, see the hole there? And there's a hole on the other side. When your new when your new rivet goes in, it'll go through and it'll pull into that hole. So you just want to make sure that's cleared out. Another thing to look at is you can see how that's spread right there. Yeah. That's from your customers over torquing it, open or closed. So I'm gonna take a pair of vice grips, I'm gonna squeeze that closed and hopefully tighten it up a little bit. Okay. Make sure it still turns all right. There, so it's closed up a little bit better than it was. There's only so much you can do. All right, so when we go to put this back in, we'll put it in the same way. I'll put a new rivet in the top. Right. So the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna drill out the 2 rivets over in the corner here, and that's gonna allow this bracket to come down and out. We'll do the same thing where we clean out these holes so that the new rivets can go in, and then we'll just take the tops off of these rivets over here, and this will all go back together in one shot. This side over here is the side that connects into the gearbox. This is the spring. It'll be with the curled piece pointed away from you, and the way to get it on is to put it over the end, turn it, and essentially you screw it on. Got this. And then ultimately it will end up hooked like that. And then this is part of the tricky part, is getting this in here and getting the spring lined up on it. So what you're gonna do with your gearbox is you're gonna go righty-tighty to make sure it's all the way closed. This would be the closed position. So I'm gonna put it on so it's sticking backwards, and then I'm gonna loosen this up a little bit so that it becomes vertical. All right. Then I'm gonna take the bracket on the end. They give you a new bushing right here, so we'll put that bushing on. And then to install the whole thing, we're gonna line up these bottom wheels. We're gonna tuck parts up underneath. This. Seems easy. There we go. And then we press the whole thing up into place. Now, the other thing we gotta make sure is that this spring gets caught up underneath there. So I'll grab a pair of pliers and I'll push that up under there. So after you kind of get things in place, you can slide this down, push the spring back, and get it underneath the edge here, like that. And then press it up. So what I've done is I've taken the pop rivets supplied in the kit, I've put them down into the holes to make sure everything's aligned, and what I'm going to do is open up the window a little bit and slide my screw through. And what that's going to do is make sure that when we put this pop rivet in, the screw's also in place, and this is all locked in the right spot. Put the nut on the back side. Rivet this in. We're using an air rivet gun. A regular hand rivet gun will work fine. Just make sure you have the right size fitting in the end here so that it's not sloppy in there. When I rivet this in, I'm going to make sure I'm holding it in place. Run my rivet down. And that's it. Alright. Now I'm going to do the back two the same way. I'm going to make sure this is pressed up in place here. Slide that down. Make sure everything's tight. That's it. This is much easier with a 1/4 inch drive ratchet instead of this big 3/8 drive. Really tight. So that's on, and now we'll put this back on. And that pushes up underneath there, which makes this hard.
Perfect.
Okay, that is all.